हेलो साथीहरू, फेरि पनि तपाईँहरूलाई धेरै धेरै स्वागत छ है हाम्रो यो बिपिएस युट्युब च्यानलमा। र यो अनलाइन क्लासमा तपाईँलाई फेरि पनि स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु। आज फेरि म यो रिसर्च मेथोलोजीको पार्ट 4 भिडियो लिएर आइपुगेको छु। आज चाहिँ यस भिडियोमा चाहिँ हामीले रिसर्च मेथोलोजी सम्बन्धी प्रोबेबल इम्पोर्टेन्ट क्वेसन आन्सरलाई लिएर आइपुगेका छौँ। जुनसुकै लेभलमा पनि ब्याचलर लेभलको रिसर्च मेथोलोजीमा, त्यसै गरी मास्टर डिग्रीको रिसर्च मेथोलोजीमा र सँगसँगै विभिन्न एक्जामहरूमा जस्तै एनआरबी नेपाल राष्ट्र ब्याङ्कको परीक्षा र सँगसँगै एसिस्टेन्ट प्रोफेसर त्रिभुवन युनिभर्सिटी, काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटी र अन्य युनिभर्सिटीको प्रोफेसरको एक्जामको लागि महत्त्व हुने गरी हामीले आज रिसर्च मेथोलोजीको क्वेसन आन्सर पार्टलाई जोड्न गइरहेका छौँ। साथीहरू, अब ढिला नगरी हामी यो सेसनलाई अगाडि बढाउन गइरहेका छौँ। साथीहरू, शान्त भएर र धैर्य भएर हेरिदिनु होला साथीहरू है। क्वेसन नम्बर 1मा छ साथीहरू है। क्वेसन नम्बर 1मा के छ भन्दैपछि है के छ, के दिएको छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यहाँनिर हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ है क्वेसन नम्बर 1बाट हामी छलफल गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। 1मा के छ भनेपछि है क्वेसन नम्बर 1ले के सोधेको छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ डिफाइन रिसर्च है एन्ड एक्सप्लेन द इसेन्सियल फिचर अफ साइन्टिफिक रिसर्च है, इसेन्सियल फिचर अफ साइन्टिफिक रिसर्च एन्ड वाइ साइन्टिफिक रिगर है, वाइ साइन्टिफिक रिगर इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट इन म्यानेजमेन्ट रिसर्च है। साइन्टिफिक रिगर, वाइ साइन्टिफिक रिगर इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट इन साइन्टिफिक research of management field. Okay, first of all, the answer of this question is start from the definition of research. We already discussed. Okay, research is systematic, organized, okay, scientific effort, effort of investigation for what, problem solving, specific problem or question, or gather the information and analyze the data and derive the meaningful conclusion to contribute the knowledge. This is called research. Okay, according to the Kothari 2004, research is the careful investigation, careful investigation or inquiry, especially through source of new fact in any branch of knowledge, according to the Kothari 2004. Now we are going to discuss about features of scientific research. What are the features of scientific research? Okay, scientific research is systematic because it follow the structure steps, then problem formulation to conclusion. Okay, it has the structure steps, stepwise it is done. That's why it is the systematic. Okay, from identification of problem to conclusion. It is objective. Research is objective because it is free from the personal biased. Okay, it is based on the fact, and it is free from the subjective influence. Okay, empirical भन्छ. Okay, empirical mean be based on the observable and measurable evidence. That's why scientific research is empirical. And scientific research is replicable means it can be replicate. Replicate means we can repeat it again. Okay, then same result we will find. When we again apply it in similar sub issue, then result will be same. Logical, okay, it is a logical conclusion. Conclusion are logical sequence. That's why it is a logical. It is a generalizable generalizable, that means it can be generalized. Okay, finding can be applied to the all population. Okay, all population uh, from the sample, result from the sample can be applied in the whole population, entire population. That's why it is called generalizable, precise and accurate. Okay, research is scientific research is precise and accurate. That means data and result are collected and interpreted accurately. That means precise and accurate. Importance of scientific rigor in management research. Why scientific rigor is important? Why scientific research should be rigor? Because ensure credibility of finding. Number two, ensure the decision making, helping makers in organization. That means with with informed choices, evidence based decision, reduce errors, biases, and misinterpretation of data. Because of research should be rigor. Enhance the knowledge and contribution. Okay, scientific rigor enhance the knowledge. Okay, knowledge contribution. Also, as well as particularly in Nepal, management practice are evolving now. That's why rigorous research are important, because it is relevant and effective. It make the relevant and effective. That's why scientific research should be the rigor. That means rigor, scientific rigor is very important in management research. Okay, that means research should be rigor. Question number 2. Describe the scientific research process step by step. Okay, step by step scientific research process like describe गर्नुहोस् with example in relevant to Tribhuvan University भन्छ. Scientific research start from the first of all problem sensing or realizing the problem, then problem identification. First of all problem identification, before it we can write also first of all sensing or realizing the problem. Second, there is a problem identification. Identify the research problem. So for example, low student satisfaction in Tribhuvan University management program. One example, that is the problem identification. Literature review. Step 2 literature review. Study the past research. Literature review means study the past research to understand the problem. Okay, for example, review studies on student satisfaction and teaching methods. That is a literature review. Now step 3, formulation of research problem and objective. Formulation of research problem and objective. Then research problem, statement of research problem should be clear. Okay, clear and well defined. Okay, should be well defined. For example, investigate the impact of teaching method on student satisfaction in Tribhuvan University. That is the research problem. Step 4, hypothesis formulation. formulation of hypothesis. Okay, make the testable and tentative statement. Okay, for example, interactive teaching method improve the student satisfaction in TU. That is the one hypothesis related to the this example. Now, okay, step 5, research design and methodology. Very important topic. It is called blueprint of the research. Okay, decide what types of research and what methods are used. Okay, research design and methodology. What sample design, what sampling technique. Hey, now data collection, gather the data using the different ways by questionnaire, interview and secondary sources. Step 6. Step 7, data processing and analyzing. Organize and codify the data and analyze in by using the statistical tools. Okay. Step 8, interpretation and finding. Interpretation and finding means draw the conclusion and relate the hypothesis. Okay. Step 8. Step 9, writing report. Report writing, prepare the research report by the following step standard structure format by using the standard format. At last, decision and applicable application. At last, I apply the uh, finding to improve the TU management program. That is the decision making and applicable application. Now, question number 3. What is research problem? Explain the component of good problem statement with a relevant example. It is very important question. First of all, research problem. Okay, research problem is a clear, specify and reasonable and reachable, researchable question or issue that research intend to study or intend to inquiry or intend to investigate systematically. It is a clear, it should be clear, specify, researchable questions, question or issue that a researcher intend to study systematically. That is called research problem. Okay. Components of the good research problem are: number 1, clarity. A research problem should be clearly defined the issue. Then research problem should be the research ability. It has to be the research ability. It can be investigated by using the empirical data. Now, three number 3, specificity. It should be specified, not broad. Okay, focused, not too broad. It should be specified. Okay, relevance. Relevance means significant to the field of study. It should be related. Okay, feasibility can be studied within the available resources. Okay, that is the feasibility. To be the good problem statement, it has to be the clarity, researchability, specificity, relevancy, and feasibility. Okay. For example, does the use of blend learning method improve the academic performance of management student at Tribhuvan University? That is the one research statement. Okay, research statement. Okay, research statement, because it is a clear focus on blend learning, researchable. It is researchable because it is measurable through the student grades and survey. Okay, and relevant. It is a relevant, addressing the TU educational quality concerned. Discuss the role, question number 4. Discuss the role of importance of literature review. And how does literature review help in identify the research gap? How research review help in finding the research gap? It is also very important question. Now, role of the literature review are given below. First of all, literature review provide the background and understanding of topic. Okay. Number two, it helps the avoid the duplication. It will avoid the duplication of the research. Okay. As well as it help in formulating research problem, formulating of hypothesis, and use of the methodology. By using the literature review, we can find the research problem, hypothesis, and methodology. As well as it give the theoretical and empirical perspectives. Okay, theoretical and empirical perspective, and it serve as the foundation or base for conceptual or theoretical framework for the new research. Okay, that's why literature review is very important. Okay, literature review is, for this purpose, literature review is very important. Now, identification of research gap. Okay, how literature review help in identification of research gap? Literature review is main tools to find out the research gap on issue. Okay, it identify the unexplored area, unfound area, or inconsistency in previous. Okay, an example, review on student of management, student performance may reveal no study has assessed the impact of blended learning on academic outcomes, forming the research gap. Okay, this would be different. Okay, research gap can be find out through the literature review. Okay, question number 5. Explain the concept of theoretical framework and how does differ from the conceptual framework, with example. Okay, now what is theoretical framework? Theoretical framework mean framework is based on the existing theory that guide the research, that guide the research. Explain why and how variable are related. It explain the why and how variable are related. Example, using Hosberg two-factor theory to study the job satisfaction of TU administrative staff. Right? This is the theoretical framework. Okay. Conceptual framework means it is the researcher one model. Researcher one model, it is generated by the researcher. Okay. Uh, Often graphically represented. Okay. For example, linking teaching method, student engagement, and academic performance in Tribhuvan University. Okay, linking teaching method, student engagement, and academic performance is the conceptual framework. there are some difference between theoretical framework and conceptual framework. Basis existence theory, conceptual framework based on researcher one model or concept. Purpose explain the relationship theoretically, guide the empirical investigation. So source establish the literature, source research objective and hypothesis. Now question number 6. Define research design and explain the type of research design commonly used in management research. Research design, okay. Research design is blueprint of plan that outline how collect, analyze, interpret the data to answer the research question. Okay, it is a blueprint plan how to collect, how to collect, how to analyze, and how to interpret the data to answer the research questions. It is the research design. Okay. There are the many types of different types of research design. Number one, exploratory research. That means I understand problem and generate the idea. For example, studying student perception on new TU course. That is the one exploratory research design. Number two, descriptive research design. Describe the characteristics of phenomenon. Characteristics or phenomenon. For example, survey on TU student satisfaction. Explanatory or casual research. That is cause and effect. Explanatory research design. Explain the cause and effect relationship. Effect of teaching style on Tribhuvan University student performance. Okay, there is a explanatory casual research. Another is experimental research. Manipulate variable to test the hypothesis. For example, testing different teaching method in Tribhuvan University classroom. It is a testing. Okay. Case study, in-depth analysis of a particular unit. For example, study of TU management department efficiency. TU department management efficiency. Okay. This is a case study. There are the 5 types of research design. Especially most used research is descriptive and explanatory. Descriptive and explanatory as well as exploratory is also very useful research design. Question number 7. What is sampling? Explain the probability and non-probability sampling technique with suitable example. Okay. Sampling is the process of selecting subset of individual or unit from the entire population, whole population, okay, to represent the whole population. Okay. There are 2 types of sampling, probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Okay. Probability sampling means each each member has a non and equal chance of being selected. Non and equal chance of being selected. There are 4 types of probability sampling: simple random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, or cluster sampling. Okay. Randomly selected 100 TU management student. Stratified sampling means select the student proportionally from the each faculty of program. Then systematic, every fifth student of the TU list. Okay. Non-probability sampling means unknown. Okay. Selection does not involve the randomization भन्छ क्या, randomly नछान्ने है. Okay. On the judgment of the researcher. These are three types of convenience sampling, judgmental sampling, quota sampling. Okay. Question number 8. Explain the concept of measurement and scaling. Okay. As well as, okay, as well as describe different level of measurement scale with example. Okay. Measurement mean assigning number and symbol to the characteristics or attributes. Okay. Assigning number or symbol to characteristics or attributes of an object according to the rule. Okay. Now scaling is the method of measuring responses and attitude using the continuum or scale, that is called scaling. Level of scaling or level of measurement scale are four kinds. There are four kinds of scale: nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, ratio scale. Okay. Nominal scale means categorize without order. No ranking there. Okay. For example, gender of TU students, male and female. Male and female. Okay. Ordinal means making the order or rank, categorize with rank or order, but no equal interval. Okay. Level satisfaction rating, low, medium, high. Okay. First, second, third. Interval scale means order with equal interval but not true zero. For example, TU student score in Celsius temperature if measuring the stress. Okay. Order ratio scale means order, ranking, equal interval, and true zero is exist. For example, income, age, number of books issued per TU student per semester. These are the ratio scale. Profit sales also it can be ratio scale. Okay. Now question number 9. What is hypothesis? What is hypothesis and what are the steps of hypothesis? How can we prepare a hypothesis? Okay. Hypothesis is the statement, testable statement or assumption. It is a tentative. Okay. About relationship between variable. Okay. Relationship between variable. There are four types of hypothesis: null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, directional hypothesis, and non-directional hypothesis. Okay. Null hypothesis mean there is no relationship between variable. For example, teaching method do not affect the TU student performance. This is a null hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis means there exists a relationship. Okay, there exists a relationship. For example, interactive teaching improve the TU student performance. Okay. Direction hypothesis means specify the direction of relationship. When one increase, another also increase. For example, increase in tuition fee, increase in dropout rate. Okay. Non-directional hypothesis means no relationship, no state relationship between. There is relationship but no direction. Okay. Relationship is exist but no direction. Okay. Now step in hypothesis testing. Okay. First of all, formulate the H naught and H1. H naught means null hypothesis. H1 means alternative hypothesis. First one. Choose the significance level, alpha level. Okay. Select the appropriate test. T test, T test, Z test, ANOVA test, chi-square test. Okay. According to the needs. Okay. There is parameter or non-parameter. Okay. There is normality or not normality. Okay. According to, we have to use the appropriate test. Okay. Then collect and analyze the data. Okay. Then compare the test statistic with the critical value. Okay. Then accept or reject yes not, or draw the conclusion. Draw the conclusion, that is hypothesis test. Hypothesis test. Difference between quantitative and qualitative research method. Okay. Which method is more suitable for management research in Nepal? Justify. Okay. Quantitative research is based on nature, is numerical and measurable. Qualitative research nature is non-numerical and descriptive. Okay. Objective is test the hypothesis. And the objective of the qualitative research is explore perception and experiences. And data collection in quantitative research is survey and experiment. In qualitative research, data can be collected through the interview and focus group. Analysis thing statistical. Then analysis is thematic and content. Outcome can be generalized, but outcome in depth understanding. Okay, depth understanding. Suitable management research in Nepal. Okay. Quantitative research is most suitable for TU management research because it provides the measurable evidence for decision making. It helps for evaluate performance and outcomes. Can be used for policy making. That's why quantitative research is more useful, more suitable. Qualitative research is also required. Okay. Qualitative research complement quantitative research for depth understanding of context, attitudes, and performance. Okay. Qualitative research is also required to help the quantitative research. Question number 11. Explain the data processing and data analysis. Describe the 4 statistic tool commonly used in data data management in management research. Okay. First of all, data processing. Data processing means organizing, coding, editing, and tabulating of collected raw data for analysis. And data analysis means examining data to identify pattern, relationship, and trend. It is examined. Right? Technique include the descriptive and inferential analysis. Okay. Z test. Okay. T test, ANOVA test, Okay, chi-square test we use in data analysis. Common statistical tools: mean, median, mode measure the central tendency. Okay, standard deviation and variance measure the data dispersion. Okay, then correlation analysis examine the relation between the variable. Okay, regression analysis determine the cause and effect relationship. Okay, other tools for the for statistical, these are the statistical tools. Now inferential tools are t-test, chi-square test, ANOVA test, factor analysis. Okay, we have the two types of tools. Okay, for the data analysis, one is statistical tools. Okay, second one is inferential tools and inferential analysis tools. Okay, question number 12, define reliability and validity. Very important question. Explain their types. Okay, and find the show the relationship between them. First of all, reliability. Reliability is the consistency of measurement, stability of measurement. Okay, that means which so the degree to test produce stable result or not. Okay, repeated or not. Okay, result should be similar when we replicate the same process. There are three types of reliability. First one is test retest reliability. So the second one is the inter-rate reliability. Another is the inter-hap reliability. It is called internal consistency also. Okay, inter-hap. Inter-hap means internal consistency. Now validity. Validity is the accuracy of measurement. Accuracy of measurement. That means it measures the what is intended to measure. What is intended to measure. It is the three types, 3C: content validity, construct validity, or criterion validity. Okay. Now relationship between our measurement can be reliable without using valid. Our measurement can be reliable without valid, but to be valid, it should be reliable. It should be reliable. That cannot be valid without reliable. Okay, reliable is most important for the validity. Measure can be reliable without validity, but validity cannot be possible without reliability. Okay. For example, miscalibrated TU grading tools give the consistency result that is reliable, but does not reflect the true performance invalids. Now, question number 13. What is research report? Research report. Okay. Explain the structure of standard research report in thesis writing. Okay. A report, research report is the documentation. It is a documentation of research finding systematically in soft copy or hard copy. It communicates the objective, methodology, analysis, and conclusion. Okay. It can have the three bodies: preliminary page, मेन बडी र इन बडी गरेर तीनवटा हुन्छ, यसभित्र पनि बाँड्न सकिन्छ। टाइटल पेज, डिक्लेरेसन, एक्नोलेजमेन्ट, अब्स्ट्र्याक्ट table of content, these are in written in the preliminary page. Introduction, right? Introduction, background, problem statement, objective in introduction phase. Then literature review, research methodology, data presentation and analysis, finding and discussion, conclusion and recommendation, references, and appendixes. In these are the uh, content of structure of the standard research report. Okay. Now question number 14, ethical issue in the research. Okay. Ethical issue means moral issues. Okay. What are the moral issues in research? Informed consent. Okay. Confidentiality and privacy. Honesty and integrity. Avoiding harm. No plagiarism. Conflict of the interest. Right? Conflict of interest. These are the ethical issues of research. Importance of ethical research, ethical issue in social research, because social research involve the human subject. That's why unethical human uh, conduct can harm the participants. Social behavior are sensitive. Ethics ensure the trust, credibility, and compliance. Okay, that's why social science research, ethical issue is more important rather than other subject. Okay. ओके साथीहरू, आज चाहिँ हामीहरूले है यो यी क्वेसनहरू 14वटा क्वेसनहरूको बारेमा हामीले डिस्कसन गरेका छौँ। तपाईँहरूलाई कस्तो लाग्यो है, त्यही अनुसार प्रतिक्रिया दिनु होला। हाम्रो च्यानललाई है लाइक सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनु होला, किनकि हामी यस्ता यस्ता कन्टेन्टहरू है, यो रिसर्च मेथोलोजीसँग सम्बन्धित कन्टेन्टहरू, म्यानेजमेन्ट फ्याकल्टीसँग सम्बन्धित कन्टेन्टहरू है, एकाडेमिक कन्टेन्टहरू, एजुकेसनल कन्टेन्टहरू ल्याएर आइराख्नेछौँ भन्दै आजलाई यो क्लास है र यो सेसन यत्तिकै रोक्न चाहन्छौँ। धन्यवाद। प्लिज सब्सक्राइब, like our channel. Thank you very much.